I want to welcome in our next guest. His name is Mazin Sbaiti. He's been on this program before, brings a decade of experience trying highly complex matters on behalf of clientele, including Fortune 100 companies, medium-sized businesses, family offices, and entrepreneurs. He has represented several states' attorneys general to protect the state interests in complex litigation. And it doesn't get any more complex than what I believe the Washington Redskins are going to be getting into here in a little while with this patent. I'm assuming they're going to sue or do something. But Mazin, welcome back to the Voice of Texas, AM 700 KSEV.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me back.
Patent law. I'm not familiar with it. I don't think a lot of the folks here in the KSEV audience are familiar with it, but a lot of folks are classifying this as a classic abuse of power by the Obama administration, basically saying that Dan Schneider does not have the right to his franchise's name. First off, what is the predicate they're basing that on? Do they have a leg to stand on legally? And what is the tactics what are the tactics that can be used by the Redskins to combat this?
The proceedings are before the U.S. Patent Office, but in fact it's an issue of trademark. And one of the laws of trademark is that you can't trademark a slur or something that is highly offensive. So you couldn't trademark a name that had the N-word in it, for example. And that was what the Patent Office decided this was akin to when they stripped them of that. The issue is, though, is that you don't have to have a registered trademark to actually own a trademark. So I'm not exactly sure what this really does to Dan Schneider. You don't even need a registered trademark to sue for trademark infringement. So it'll be a very interesting appeal and a very interesting course of events going forward. But we are looking at, just so everybody understands, we are looking at least 5 to 7 years of appeals while this thing goes up probably to the Supreme Court and back.
Well, here's what Harry Reid said yesterday about, and again, nobody's ever accused him of being incredibly smart. But here was he's going to basically outline how offensive the Redskins name is, and then he's going to say his understanding of this ruling by the Patent Office, what it allows. Listen.
This is extremely important to Native Americans all over the country, that they no longer use this name. It's racist. Daniel Snyder says it's about tradition. I ask, what tradition? Tradition of racism. It's all that name leaves in its wake. The writing is on the wall. It's on the wall in giant blinking neon lights. The name will change, and just what we've done for the tribes in Nevada across the nation who care so deeply about this issue. The Patent and Copyright Office today took away all the trademarks. The Redskins no longer have trademarks. They're gone. And so, as I understand the law, the presiding officer wants to use the name Redskin and sells them shirts, you can do that.
See, that's what he's saying. Anybody can now use the Redskins logo and name and make money off it, and that will undercut the franchise's ability to guard that. And that's what the objective is to punish them for defying left-wing orthodoxy.
Yeah, and that's not even correct.
Gee, what a surprise! Harry Reid is not correct? Boy, newsflash, everybody. Hey, ABC, NBC, CBS affiliates here in Houston, newsflash, Harry Reid is not correct. Go ahead.
The fact that they wouldn't have a registered trademark means they have certain rights and abilities that go away, but they actually still have plenty of rights to protect the name. And yeah, it may mean that more people use the name Redskins or copy the logo to sell T-shirts or whatever, but people are still going to want the official Redskins jersey, and through contracts, the Redskins are going to be able to protect that. They don't have to change the name. So this actually isn't the biggest move against the Redskins that could have happened.
Okay, Mazin Sbaiti is my guest right now. And do I have your name? Is it Mazin or Mazin?
It's Mazin.
It's Mazin. Okay, Mazin Sbaiti is my guest right now. Second time he's appeared on the program. He and I are just getting to know each other. He represents high-end clients in litigation, pretty much like what we're talking about with the Washington Redskins, because we do believe it's going to head to some sort of litigation. Let me ask you this about the whole idea of this name change. Because they're saying now that Redskins, even though it's been fine in American culture for all these years, now it's been ruled to be offensive. I find the name Democrat incredibly offensive. Do I have a case to bust up the trademark of the word Democrat in the Patent Office because it offends me?
I don't know that would necessarily be the way to go. I don't know that they have a trademark, but assuming they did, you can certainly try it. I don't think it would necessarily work. I think what their argument has been that Redskin historically, and there was evidence put forth that historically it was used as a slur, I guess.
Well, you see, every single time I say Democrat, what the Democrats stand for is a slur against the American way. I mean, could I make that case that they are antithetical to America? They are against what the founding fathers of this country actually put forth in the U.S. Constitution. So their very name is a slur against the country.
I think you'd have some grounds to challenge it.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much this patent office would go with you, though.
Okay. I understand. But because the left-wingers are up there cheering this decision. But what happens when there's a conservative, or maybe just as much an ideological conservative as Mr. Obama is an ideological liberal in the Oval Office, and decides to do exactly to what Obama's been doing doing it to the other side of the aisle? I'm sure they'll be quiet and just accept it. Mazin Sbaiti, appreciate your time. Of course, you represent Fortune 100 companies and all kinds of complex litigation. Appreciate your time here on The Voice of Texas.
Thanks, Chris. Have a good one.
You betcha. All right, I want to get to your phone calls. Cliff has been waiting very patiently. Cliff, thanks for calling. 281-558-5738 in The Voice of Texas. What say you?
Hey, my idea for the Washington Redskins is that they go ahead and keep their name, but they change their mascot to the Copper Tone Girl. Where the one where the dog is pulling down her swimsuit.
Oh, that one. Yes. So, it's like if something was called the Brownskins, I don't think I'd be offended. I'm a Hispanic. It's like, well, you want to honor, or maybe call them.
Isn't that the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, well, that could said yes. I guess that could be taken that way. The Aztecs, the San Diego State University Aztecs, they're my alma mater, and of course they're Native American Indians. Nobody suggests for a second that the Aztecs, calling them the Aztecs, is somehow a racial slur. They're honored too.
Well, there's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Do they think that all Irish get drunk and start fights before games? Or, and also, if you want to be politically correct, they should change the name to the San Francisco baseball team to the San Francisco Size Doesn't Matter.
Size doesn't. I love it. The 49ers too. That could be age discrimination.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to offend the elderly, so I mean, we went down all the franchises. If PETA gets its ire up, the Bears, the Colts, the Broncos, the Ravens, the Dolphins, PETA could say they're just so exploiting of little creatures and animals. We want you to change all your name. The feminists can get their. Well, no, I gotta watch it. The feminists could get all upset and say the Cowboys, misogynist name, it will never stop. We give in here, and all of a sudden, all of the National Football League is going to be spending millions of dollars to change the letterhead. Appreciate it, Cliff. Great call. Let's go to Pablo next. Pablo, welcome to The Voice of Texas.
Well, you got the Cowboys off my list. I wanted to add two more to the list.
Go ahead.
I think the Giants would be offensive to tall people. So now we got to get that out of there.
Maybe to little people, it'd be giving the little people a complex.
Right. So
that could be very.
Just wanted to add my 2 cents.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Pablo. Donnie, you're calling in. Not on the Redskins. Well, you want to talk about the IRS? Well, who doesn't?
So those emails.
Yeah. Say that again. You got cut off. What did you say?
Sorry. The reason they lost all those emails is there was Obama emails exchanging in there too.
I mean,
that's obvious.
Right. I know. That's my contention all along, that they found out, the Obama administration found out, that Lois Lerner was having email conversations with the White House, having email conversations with Elijah Cummings, having email conversations with Eric Holder's Attorney General, and that's why it all had to be covered up and erased. They've spent the last year putting off Congress so they could clean and scrub those servers, because it takes that long, because there's so many redundancies in the federal government, and they had to keep it small and quiet into a very small group so that no loose lips would sink any ships.
Well, now they should go after Obama and Eric Holder's and also Hillary Clinton's emails. They got servers. They got servers, backup servers. Come on.
I just say I think the Republicans ought to hire the WikiLeaks guy, Julian Assange, and get him in here. So, he'll find it. Thank you very much, Donnie. Appreciate it. Back to the Redskins. JD's calling in. JD, thanks for calling into The Voice.
Hey, Chris. Hey, we need to get rid of all the John Wayne movies, the Burt Lancaster movies, the Marlon Brando movies that call the Indians Redskins and Injuns and all that stuff.
Man alive, I never thought about that. Yeah, get them off the shelf. Get them off the shelf. The Disney won't even make the movie Song of the South anymore. They won't print it. because
Yeah.
of it's just it's
Yeah, hey, here's a name, Chris, real quick before I go. We could do like maybe the Washington Caliphate or something.
yeah, the Caliphates. Yeah, we already had somebody call in and say, let's call them the Allah Al Qaedas. Or the Al Qaeda Allahs, the Washington Allah Al Qaedas, and that way, Harry Reid would never dream of standing up to that name. Thank you, JD. Appreciate it. I want to sneak in one more call before we go to break. Laura, you've been waiting very patiently. Laura Hill. Go ahead.
Good morning, Chris.
Go ahead.
We just had here in Houston the Lamar Redskins, the high school, had to change their name. The HISD changed their name this coming fall.
I remember.
I went to Lamar. It was the Redskins.
Yeah, I remember talking about that when I first got on the air here. I thought it was a silly move here in Houston. It's even a sillier move when it's being imposed by the federal government. I've forgotten about that. Thank you for the reminder.
They changed them, and it's going to end up. Everything's going to be Team Washington, Team Lamar, Team San Diego.
Yes.
They won't have anything.
Yeah, left-wingers ruin society, and that's what they're doing. All the fun goes out of society when left-wingers are in charge, that's for sure. Appreciate it, Laura Hill. All right, we'll go into break. Don't miss it. Russell Sherrill's going to be back with sports.